All right, our plays are ready. Our casters are ready. We're going into our grand finals.
Here we go, Yaku. We're going in. Demi versus Azure. India versus Australia. Downfall versus Legacy Esports. Mate.
Nine.
All right, let's do this. Let's strap ourselves in. Yaku, are we going to see Mech or Bio coming out from Azure?
Bio to start with, Mech later on.
Okay.
Or the other way around. And here we are. Let's get this show to hit the ground running. We are going to be starting off on Everdream, Ideally Edle. We're in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We have the Red Zerg player coming out all the way from the land of India. He is the shark himself, the Grand Platypus, looking to meet his peers and tie it up for the most amount of ESL Dare Cup wins. If he wins this, he gets a 4-peat, man. I say representing. Yeah, we have Demi.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Everdream LE, we have the Australian Terran player representing Legacy Esports. It is Azure.
I forget what round of the tournament we're in.
What? The finals?
So right, it's the grand finals. Yeah. Best of five.
What? What? I thought you were gonna be like, I forgot we're casting StarCraft.
Is that a podcast?
I was about to say, I thought this was a podcast. I thought we were just chilling.
Yeah.
We're here.
Apparently not.
We can chill.
To me.
We can chill with some Dare Ice coffee. It's possible. It's possible.
But what if I want to heat with Dare Ice? No, wait. How was I going with that? Hatch gas pool coming out from Demi.
Yeah. Nothing too crazy. No early aggression coming out from either player. No proxy. Nothing like that. Pretty standard so far.
And again, this is one of the things you can really do on Everdream. Very versatile map.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of possibilities here. We're just kind of keeping an eye on the production tab, on the build orders, to see, if will Azure go for 1-1-1. If he does, what kind of variants? We'll go for Banshees, BCs. We'll go 2-1-1. Will he go for 1-1-1 into fast 30C? Like, yeah, there's a lot you can do.
There really, really is, but much like most other builds, it all comes down to the 1-1-1. You're gonna get that 1-1-1, and that's gonna be a baseline. You're gonna be switching it up from there. You're gonna be getting your tech a little later on.
Yeah, as so far we do see the add-on stop here for the production buildings, and there we go. We have the start port on the way as well. So there are different variants of this. We could see Banshees. There's a tech lab on the way, so we could see that switch, or we could see a Viking first.
Yeah,
a fast sim and a lib. Pick a poison.
Okay, forget. Yeah, that is what I would go for. That fast lib into stim.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you can really go for the world is your oyster right now, or the world is Azure's oyster.
Yeah, it's also why I get really excited whenever I see. Hey, he's doing it.
Hey.
And yeah, I know that you're very fond of this opener, and I was about to say that it's also why I get really excited whenever I see a 2-1-1, because it used to be the standard. Nowadays, not so much. You do still see it, but a lot more rarely. And yeah, openers like this are more popular. Yeah,
the 2-on-1, it's more of a fringe build, and when you're going for the 2-on-1, you're also generally not you're not going to be making any big tech switches from there, unlike with the 1-1-1, right? So yeah, you're gonna have to commit to that.
Yeah, definitely. Going for this, like, does have like a lot of different avenues that you can take.
And that's especially good on a map like Everdream and against a player like Demi, who is going to be going for that very quick Spire.
Incredibly fast. You know it. You know what it is. It is 2 base Mutalisk at the moment. He's on 2 bases, taking all 4 of his gases, going right into that lair, right into that Spire, delaying his 3rd base.
And do you see what I see? Like, do you see what Demi's going for? He's getting a very quick Veiling speed. This is a very aggressive Mutaling Bane style that I haven't seen in quite some time.
Yeah, honestly, I really do like this. Very often we see players skip Veiling speed and go right into or save as much of their gas as possible for Mutalisk, but instead Demi opting to go for this Ling Bane Muta style, and so far he's been able to dance really well with these Hellions and all gets to dice around.
And he is really punishing Azure.
Wow.
Azure does rush to scout this, so he knows what's coming for him, but that was beautiful. Demi did not lose a single drone to that. Only lost a handful of Lings.
Yeah, and that's definitely worth it. It was really well done there by Demi. Again, like when you're a player like Azure, you have that choice, that decision to dive in with your Hellions, and if you make that decision to dive in, you oftentimes want to get a couple of drones for those Hellions, but none were taken. At least though, as you said, he did scout that Spire.
Yep, should be getting some missile turrets up yet. I wouldn't get too much. I'm guessing that Demi, he's making 7 mutas now. I have a feeling that those are going to be the only mutas that he makes for a while. He's going to be focusing a bit more on, getting his Ling Bane count up and then going more, investing more into the mutas.
Yeah, we'll see, as again he's going double Evo as well, so he's going to be working on those upgrades for the Ling Bane. In the meantime, he has to spend some time droning up, as again his 3rd base was incredibly delayed, and the idea here is for these Mutalisks to keep Azure busy while Demi takes this opportunity to drone up.
Exactly, really trying to pin Azure in as much as he can, and he's doing a decent job of it. Azure will still be able to secure that 3rd base. There are a lot of turrets in this main base.
I love this. Azure not taking any chances here. He has plenty of towers protecting his bases, protecting his production as well. Despite that, Demi, he does find, a little bit of damage here, able to take out this gas.
Yeah, it's something, Best case scenario, Azure never makes a Thor because of that.
Yeah, definitely, and at the same time, a couple of Mutalisks do get shaved off by Azure. Nice positioning there, able to keep those Marines ready and waiting for the Mutalisks to drive by. Meanwhile, Demi, he is, just continuing to expand. He has a 4th base on the way, but now he has a decent drone count where he can start focusing on his ground army.
Yeah, we've got to the point where Demi, he's really stable in, you talk about his drone count. There's the point where Demi is not really going to have to split his attention too much. He can just play it out a lot more reactive, If he sees a drop coming up, I just send my Mutalisk over there. I should be fine.
Yeah, and his upgrades aren't too far behind. 1-1 just finished up for Azure, but again, he's not going to be too aggressive anytime in these coming moments. So Demi, he has an opportunity to catch up in those upgrades. There won't be like a big engagement where there is this big disparity. And yeah, we do see Demi just continuing to drone up, working on more upgrades, even focusing on his fire upgrades, as opposed to like working on a hive.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting to see from Demi. And we always talk that, he goes for his Mutalisks. I don't think I've seen him go +2 flyer weapons in a while.
Yeah, again, this just goes to show that he really wants to invest in these Mutalisks. As we see 5 more Mutalisks in production, like Demi, he just really enjoys this style, this heavy Mutalisk style, and it can snowball.
Yeah, taking a page out of Dongray Gu's book, by the looks of things.
Or did Dongray Gu take a page out of Demi's book? Hashtag play like Demi. Shout out to Risky, by the way.
I imagine Dongray Gu was watching ANZ champs or ANZ qualifiers and thought, this Demi guy, I should check him out.
Yeah, as we do know, Dongray Gu, he is a big ANZ fan, and he does tune into these tournaments quite often.
Naturally.
Naturally. But Azure, he's coming in with these drops, not really finding too much damage on. Can he get the Queen? Ooh, nice.
Getting the Queen, nice little bit of consolation there. Demi, he is just He knows what his position in the game is right now. He just does not want Azure to get annoyed with these drops. He's fine with losing a couple of units here and there, as long as he doesn't have to split his attention later on.
Yeah, but Azure, he's had enough of the drops. He is coming in here with his bio army, with all these Widowmines as well. And Widowmines, they're exactly what you need against Lingbane Muta. They can do so well against both the ground and the air army. And now Demi, he needs everything he can to defend here at his 4th base.
He really, really does. I don't think he's going to have enough. Azure taking a massive lead in the army supply. He is going to be maxed out real soon. Very nice splits. And he should be able to just chip away at this 4th base.
Yeah, the big scary thing for Azure is that he has so many Widowmines nicely spread here, but a couple do go down.
Yeah, and that really is the advantage of the Banelings, isn't it? If they manage to get taken out right on top of the Widowmine, they will deal damage.
That they will. And here we go. The Mutalisks of Demi have joined the ground army here, joined the fray. They will be able to assist here, taking out whatever they can.
And it looks like Azure, you know, his army is not really in position. He has the higher supply, but a lot of that are in the medevacs. He's sending another army down to the south. Huh. Literally what I was about to say. Literally what I was about to say. But he knows where the Mutalisks are. I see all armying.
No, the boys were pulled. Yeah, they were moving halfway across the map, and they only just now rejoined the mineral line. I'm not too sure what happened there. A bit of a miscontrol, misclick, or you know, they accidentally joined the control group of an army, and yeah, they kind of went on a ride.
They really did. Look, I can die to Banelings too. It's what they said.
Yeah. So Azure, he did, you know, bring them back home. He's establishing himself. I feel like he does need another base. He's like pretty oversaturated. Ooh, nice Widowmine shots.
But he's getting that 4th base ready. It's in production. Should be floating it into position fairly soon. I was gonna say Debbie looked like he gained enough momentum to really snowball into a victory. But Azure, he's already back in it. He's remade his army that he's lost, and now he's just nice targeting there of the mine.
Yeah, again, there's been quite a number of really good Widowmine shots. Even here, the Mutalisks have to be so careful. Oh,
another mine. It gets taken out, but not before chipping away at the Mutas. And now Demi, he's still looking in a pretty good position, but nowhere near as invulnerable as he was earlier. Yeah,
the problem is that the Mutalisks took massive Widowmine shots, and that means that they're so close to death they can't really engage with this army. But the Banelings come in.
Banelings do come in. Azure macroing just at the last second, does manage to keep enough of his bio alive, I would say. Yeah, but these Banelings once again just starting to come in. Demi moving them off creep right into mine range. The Thor surprisingly still lives. And Demi's being forced to bring this Mutalisk back home. Now, Demi still has a lot of Banelings. This is too much for Azure to really try to punish with the army that he's got. But the reinforcements are clearing out the Mutas, and he is getting in position.
Yeah, and again, Azure, he keeps trying to pressure that 4th base of Demi, but he just can't break it. Like Demi, he always just has enough there, whether it's in the ground or in the air, to hold off the army of Azure. And I love how active he's being with his Mutalisks. Like, after they got bruised, he just went across the map. He's trying to harass, and he's finding some damage regardless.
Absolutely. This is Demi really saying, I know what I need to focus my army on. The upgrades get delayed and gonna be denied, actually.
Oh my god, both NG bays get taken out, they both get sniped, delaying the upgrade so much for Azure. Even the armory!
Missile turrets. Yeah, now Azure can't make any more missile turrets. This is not looking too good, to say the least. Even the NG bays that are starting to be rebuilt, taken out once again, no cancel. And because the armory got taken out, there's no... Even though there are drilling claws, there's gonna be visibility here. I did not notice that. I didn't realize that's how it works.
Yeah, and oh god, like Azure, that may have been a game-winning move there from Demi, like killing both NG bays, denying 3-3, as well as incredibly delaying it, killing the armory as well. So that has to be remade. Now no more missile turrets.
No more missile turrets. The mines have lost their invisibility. And honestly, Demi, he's sitting comfortable. He's on 5 bases. He's just got his 6. He is on a very healthy worker count. He just wants to keep Azure back as long as he can.
Yeah,
But
and here we go now, Demi.
maxed out.
Yeah, and if you recall, Demi, he was behind in the upgrades, but now 3-3 has started for Demi. There will be this timing where he will be ahead in upgrades very heavily, and we'll see if Azure can get something done before that happens.
Yeah, already some pretty nice targeting here on top of the Banelings. Demi losing out actually a decent chunk of them. The Mutalisks across the map, they're still going to get more economic damage done. Azure is all in though, and that's a lot of Banelings. Azure is splitting so well, but the Banelings will still crash regardless and will still get damage done. Azure does still have enough bio to push on forward, but he does not have his mines in position. He's going to have to be very careful with how he engages this.
Exactly.
And honestly, if he does buy enough time, he should be able to remax.
Yeah, and the problem is behind this, the fourth base of Azure was killed, 18 SCVs went down, and the Mutalisks are still going rampant across the map. So that wasn't even Demi's entire army there dealing with Azure. Like, the Mutalisks were still dealing damage across the map, and Azure, the splits were there, but they just was not enough.
Somehow, though, Azure, for a little while, was able to be on even army supply. But Demi remaxes. He's getting chitinous plating. He's getting those Ultralisks out. This is going to be the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, especially with 3-3 about to finish up in a couple of seconds as well with the Ultras. Azure, he just doesn't have the economy to switch his tech and get into Ghosts, get into Liberators. He's kind of stuck with what he has, and what he has won't scale well into those Ultralisks. Did he even start 3-3?
No, he did not, because he doesn't have an armory. He didn't remake that armory.
Oh, he only remade the engine base. He didn't remake the armory.
Yeah, he is gonna be able to get some turrets out, and could get some high-sec auto tracking. Yeah, but not much else.
Exactly.
And this start was pretty brutal.
Yeah, definitely. Like Azure, he was playing so well for the longest time, but again, those NG snipes, they just did so much. They so much value was gotten out of them, and now Azure, like, this may be his final push. He's pushing out, trying to deny another base, trying to take an engagement, but the Ultras are here.
Ooh, nice one of mine hits, even though I think that there was a little bit of friendly fire there. Now, is it going to be enough? The Ling Bane count is starting to get thinned out right now for Demi, but now the Mutalisks are here and very much in play. Azure, he's kiting this as best as he can. He is splitting as best as he can, but there's just too much firepower. GG is called. Demi going to take game number 1, and what a game to start our finals in.
Yeah, exactly. GG. Demi takes game number 1, and again with his signature Mutalisks.
That was a brutal game. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Again, it's important to know that every single time Demi was holding these like pushes from Azure, he was doing so with like, maybe 2/3 of his army supply, because the rest were in mutas and they were always across the map.
Yeah, and I don't know, I think that was really a case of just Demi really understanding what he needed to use his army for, and where to send those mutas, like you were saying.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, potentially some things that could have helped Azure would be, maybe sensor towers or some kind of spotter, some way to know where the Mutalisks are, or at least like their vague vicinity, so he can prepare himself and have defenses at home for them. Because those Mutalisks, they just kept getting into mineral lines. They just kept finding these angles to snipe certain things, whether it was SCVs or engineering bays, whatever they could find.
Gotta get as many turrets as you can, I guess. Alright, we're gonna be going into game number 2, where I kind of expect Azure to go for mech.
Oh, okay.
But we'll find out. We will find out.
Yeah, and honestly, mate, Seether is your spirit animal. I love the copy pasta in the chat.
Yup! Spam this slug to help out Krug.
It's beautiful. And he's gonna need it. He's down 1-0 in this best of 5. Can he bring it back here on Pillars of Gold? Which, I mean, to be fair, I think, you know, it is a little bit Zerg favored map. But as you said, this could be Azure's opportunity to whip out that mech.
Potentially.
Potentially, or I mean, we could see a proxy as well. We've seen Terran's proxy on this map before, and Azure isn't opposed to that sort of thing. We did see him proxy probe on this map actually a couple of weeks ago, if you recall.
That we did.
That was when he ended up. I think he proxy Reaper, then he floated to the other side of the rocks, and then proxy marauded. It was amazing to see.
Probe had no idea what was coming for him. He thought he dealt with the proxy.
Yeah, he did. It was beautiful to see. Beautiful to see. But you know, that was a different week. That was a different matchup. Here we are in the TVZ.
Indeed, we are. Where there are a lot of differences compared to that TVP, but you know what a consistent one is? Terran is in that matchup in the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner of Pillars of Gold. LE holding up the golden wall, protecting the Turtle Empire where the LE submarines are hidden. We have the Red Zerg coming down all the way from the land of India. He is looking to make his 4th ever ESL Open Cup Fueled by Dare Championship. Can he do it? Representing Downfall Gaming, we have Demi.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Pillars of Gold LE, we have the Australian Terran player representing Legacy Esports. It is Azure.
And I see a gas, and I see a hatch. Oh, we see a pool. We do see a pool.
Yep. It's pretty standard coming out here from Varun. Hatch, gas, pool. And yeah, again, as you were saying, like Azure, he's a very versatile player. You know, he's one to go bio, he's one to go mech. You know, he's one to proxy. I'm just really curious to see what he's going to whip out here on Pillars of Gold, a map which I think there's a consensus that is a little bit more Zerg favored. So yeah, like how do you approach this game?
I think it depends on who you ask. Some people would say it's a little bit Zerg favored. Other people would say it is 100% Zerg favored. Regardless, it's generally agreed that Zerg will have the upper hand. To what extent, though?
Yeah, it does come down to the way the bases are positioned, the amount of open spaces there are in the middle of the map as well, like the angles that you can go for. So yeah, we'll see how this comes into play. Again, like, you know, mech is a different style, and it can utilize some of these features to their advantage.
Exactly, and I would also imagine that mech would be more effective because there is an argument to be made that in a TVZ, the Terran player does have the opportunity to try to mitigate those factors of the map that make it Zerg favored. You know, they can get some walls up, you know, try to prevent the openings to its bases, you know, or, you know, have some spotters on the map, try to mitigate the wide openness in the middle of it.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of which, we do have Azure not quite going for a 1-1-1. He's going for a 1-1 into that fast 3rd CC.
3CC before Starport. He's gonna go Marine heavy, isn't he, this game?
He definitely could. Again, like, this is an opener that has become a lot more popular in recent times. Like, I've seen this time and time again, you know, 1-1 into that into that fast 3rd CC, and you know, if you can get away with it, like, your economy can just boom out of this.
Yeah, and it's actually honestly kind of a risk that Azure is taking on Pillars of Gold. Now, to be fair, he did scout out the main base, so he knows that Demi isn't going for any sort of quick tech. I say that as we now see the Roach-Warren coming up.
Yeah, it is hidden here in the back of the natural, and at the moment, Azure, he has no idea that this Roach-Warren is on the way. So Demi looking to be quite aggressive here with these roaches even. So yeah, it's gonna be a little bit on Azure to scout this again because he didn't go 1-1-1. Like, he doesn't have any banshees out quite yet. Despite that, though, he is still getting a tech lab on his starport, and he does have a fusion core on the way.
Yeah, I think he is planning to go for that BC, but we've seen this attempt made by a lot of Terran players. Going for the BC would take a little bit too much time.
Yeah, it does take a little bit longer to get the BC out as opposed to the Banshee. So when it comes to defense, it's a little bit more difficult. Like the timings are a little bit tighter. Like when the BC will come out in time for the roaches. Speaking of which, here we go. We have the roaches in production.
And they are moving. They are getting in position. Azure still does not know that this is what's coming for him. That BC is now getting made.
Yeah, and I mean, hopefully it doesn't immediately teleport across the map, but it probably will. So, yeah, it kind of comes down to the timings, like when will this pop out? It's also important to note that Demi, he did try to go for a scout, but it was denied. He doesn't know that there's a fusion core out there.
No, he does not.
Oh god, but the Lings, they completely avoid the Hellions, do manage to go across the map.
Oh, they managed to go in. They managed to go in, and there's not a lot of defenses out here right now for Azure. Can actually be it right now. I gotta have to say, despite the lack of defenses here for Azure, I like that he's being active with the Hellions.
Yeah,
as much time as he can for these VCs.
Yeah, this thing run by is dealing so much damage, and it's so important to know that Demi, he stopped droning completely. No more drones in production. It's just nothing but Lings and roaches pushing out across the map.
Yeah, but if Azure can hold this, they should be looking in a fantastic position. The BC is now out. That's going to help out a decent amount. It will still kind of tickle these roaches. Not going to be doing too much damage, but, you know, everything counts.
Yeah, it just hurts so much that that wall was never completed, so the natural has been evacuated. He has nothing but Hellions at the moment for defense.
Yeah, the battles don't quite land how they wanted to. The roaches are now busting on in. They are punishing this build order that Azure went for. You tried to get greedy on pills of gold and a TVZ. Well, let me show you why you don't do that. Demi is now saying.
Yeah, exactly. It's important to note that he did go for a faster CC, so he went for a very economic focused build, sacrificing on his army because of that, and eventually, like, the BC will clean everything up, but not before losing 26 SCVs.
Ay, ay, ay. Dios mío.
Yeah, and as all this was happening, Demi was droning up. You know, he had stopped earlier at 33, but now he's just skyrocketed in that count.
SMH my head, I guess. Yeah, but important to note that Azure, you know, he does have his teleport now. He does have Yamato finishing up. So there's not too much anti-air here for Demi. I'm really liking how he's making use of his queen still.
Yeah, one queen does go down to the Yamato, but again, it looks like there should be enough. Oh no, he actually targeted down the high energy queen, so there's not enough energy for transfuses.
No, there's not, and yeah, Demi's actually losing quite a little bit here. Not quite enough to start turning this game around, but definitely a start as the Spire pops out for Demi.
Of course it does, and it's important to note that Azure, he held and he has triple CCs, so he is making 3 SCVs at a time, so he can catch up in terms of economy as the game progresses. But as you're saying, like those Mutalisks, they could definitely end the game. As we were talking about it, like we do see more factories going down. Azure is going mech, but he doesn't really have too much anti-air.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that he could decide to commit to this mech, as you know he was still in that 1-1-1. He could have really gone either way before going here, and you know, I guess he does have the 3rd CC, so he's looking to just restabilize his economy as quickly as he can, get the gas as quickly as he can, and yeah, go into his mech composition.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, he, with BCs and with Hellions, he's doing the best he can to try and keep Demi busy on the outside of the map, keeping him preoccupied so Demi doesn't push out anytime soon. So he does have that going for him, but again, like, that's until the Spire finishes and the Mutalisks pop out.
Well, are we going to see Mutalisks, or are we going to see Corruptors? I feel like Demi's main concern right now are these BCs. Good scan coming out now from Azure. We'll know that the Spire tech is coming out.
Oh, yeah, and immediately missile turrets are being started. They are being thrown down, and I imagine we're going to see some Thors. Oh, okay, opts to go for Cyclones instead. Okay.
Yeah, you would want to have a pretty good sort of baseline, or I'm not sure baseline is the right word, but you know, you do want to have your cyclone count out before you switch it to your higher tech units like Thor's or well, I would say BCs, but they're already out.
Yeah, and we do see that it will be for Corruptors, not Mutalisks, which does make a lot of sense, especially if he thinks that his opponent is going for a higher BC count. Corruptors are what you want to take them out.
Yeah, and guess what? Azure is looking to go for a high BC count, another one in production. But these two BCs that were already produced, they are starting to really find an opening. There are enough Yamatos to take out the Corruptors right now of Demi. But other than that, more and more pop out, and these BCs are not looking too long for this world. They do have a teleport available to them, though.
Oh yeah, so nicely done. The BCs, they kill a couple of Corruptors, you know, can deal a bit of damage there across the map, and they do manage to escape to be repaired to fight another day. And yeah, because Demi's going for Corruptors and not Mutalisks, like the counter damage like potential isn't quite as there as it could have been. So Azure, he should be able to, you know, establish himself on 3 bases and try and get back into this.
And he definitely has the opportunity. He is, yeah, coming back behind when you are on 3 bases. That's probably the best case scenario. It's something that can happen and does actually happen quite a number of times.
Yeah, again, it's so important that Azure was able to hold. Like, he had a very greedy opening getting that faster OTC, and because he was able to hold, even though he lost a bunch of SCVs, he was able to remake them quite quickly. He's still behind in terms of workers, but again, like, as the game progresses, it will be better and better for Azure.
Absolutely. Right now, I think it's honestly on Demi a bit to realize what game he's going to be playing out, to realize that Azure, he's not going to be that far behind him. So what is he going to do? Is he going to build up his army and try to go for a timing push, or is he just going to expand even harder than Azure?
Yeah, and the problem is that Demi, he's gotten to the point where he is maxed out, so I imagine he's going to be pushing out quite soon, and it's a little bit on these BCs that are sneaking into the main base to try and keep Demi's attention.
Well, when you have this many Corruptors, it's not going to be too tough of an ask for Demi. He is moving his ground army across the map. His Corruptor is now free to join them. These things still managed to make it in. These things managed to make it in. How has this happened twice?
The wall is not a wall. The Lings make it into the natural, killing so many more SCVs. The BCs are busy dealing with the Ravagers, and I mean, potentially they can, but the Corruptors are now joining the fray.
Yeah, and not a lot of tanks out. These Cyclones really helping out as much as they can. These SCVs, you know, they're healing as much as they can, but they are just starting to fall. This is a lot of damage. This is even more damage than the initial Roach push from Demi.
Yeah, again, all the BCs get taken out. The ground army falls as well, and 36 SCVs have gone down. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, 20 drones have gone down. So Azure, he's trying to deal some counter damage, but he just doesn't have enough here at home to defend. I say that, but he does get a couple of tanks out, so potentially he can hold at his natural.
That's a pretty good position, but Demi, I'm really liking how he's utilizing his Ravagers. He is slowly inching forward until he can see the tank and then piling them down one by one. GG is called. Demi already now on match point. Already on match point, Light.
Already. We're up 2-0 in this best of 5, and oh boy, again, as you said, like Azure, he was going for this greedy opening, and to be fair, Demi had no idea. Like he never got a scout of the main base. To be fair, he did. I guess he was able to count the Hellions, so maybe you can assume things. But I think regardless, Demi, he was going for this Roach aggression to begin with, and yeah, he just caught Azure off guard. Like Azure had no idea what was coming. Like he didn't scout the Roach Warren in the natural.
Yeah, on Pillars of Gold. On Pillars of Gold.
Yeah.
He went for a 3cc before Starport on Pillars of Gold, and you know, to be fair, he did almost get away with it.
Yeah, he did.
Like to go for this sort of build, and honestly, looking back, I don't want to say it was fine that he lost all those SCVs, but yeah, when you do go for a quick 3cc, I think you are kind of expecting to lose a couple and to be able to just rebuild them quick.
I would say that I would like to have seen how that game played out if the wall was finished at the natural for the first Ling run by. If you recall, there was just one depot missing in the center.
There was just one depot missing, but at the same time, Yeah, it will be interesting to see how that played out. But the Roaches weren't far behind the Zerglings. I
Yeah,
think
it
it's
was.
possible that Demi would have been able to bust on through with the Roach count.
Yeah, definitely. It is definitely possible, but at the same time, like regardless, time would have been bought for defenses to come home. If you recall, the Hellions had left; they were across the map.
Maybe more of a base trade situation. Well, I guess not really a base trade that early in the game, but you know.
Yeah. I think regardless, like any time that Azure would have, it would benefit him in his defense. Anything stopping or delaying Demi at least. And yeah, it would have been interesting to see. It's just a bit of a shame that I think 2 times we saw Azure's natural wall was non-existent. And Lynx were able to get into the mineral line.
That was a massacre, if I've ever seen one.
And we'll see how things go here, as game number 3 will be on Eternal Empire.
Yeah, the complete parallel to Pillars of Gold. Same aesthetic, different layout.
Yeah. I don't know if I would say parallel, but sure. You know, they do have similar themes in terms of their tile set. There's quite a number, right? Like I think we've tied together like Eternal Empire, Pillars of Gold, and Golden Wall, and you know, I'm sure we can fit in the Chrome somehow.
Well, you can fit into Chrome because how this is, you know, that one fact that always gets thrown around every now and then. Technically, the definition of a desert is somewhere that lacks a lot of water, or a certain amount of land that lacks water. Which is why people say Antarctica is actually the world's biggest desert.
I mean, it is a desert.
What?
Antarctica. It is.
What?
That's why they say that, because it is.
Yeah, but it's not like a desert. It's a legal desert. But just because it's a legal desert doesn't mean it's like, you know, a moral desert. You know? And speaking of deserts, we are now on Eternal Empire, Ile. We're in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. Already on match point, this man is on an absolute tear today, looking to tie himself up with the likes of Probe and Seether as a 4-time ESL Open Cup Fueled by Dare champion. And the way things are looking right now, like, I think it's gonna happen. Coming down all the way from the land of India, gonna be representing Downfall Gaming, we have Demi.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Eternal Empire LE, we have the Australian Terran player representing Legacy Esports. It is Azure.
I gotta tell you, Light, I have a little bit of hope that we might see that reverse sweep coming out from Azure, right? I'm just really rooting for him right now. I would love to see him get one of these ESL Open Cup Fueled by Dares, and what is potentially his last shot at it. But Demi has just looked so solid throughout. He's looked solid throughout today, but especially in this series. This is an opponent he's familiar with. This is an opponent who he knows how to crack him.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's also important to note that it's possible that some of these players, they aren't showcasing everything that they have to offer, especially because, you know, DreamHack Fall is in a couple of days.
Yeah, that is definitely part of it. Like, I don't doubt that at all. We actually we actually did see the ESL Open Cup the week before the summer qualifiers. Mm-hmm. We casted a couple of players who just said, yeah, I'm just going to do whatever this game.
I mean, I think it's important to note that Yeah, which is why I appreciate the turnout that we had this week, because for DreamHack Summer, that the week of, we actually had, I think, the lowest bracket for ESL Dare, which is why, you know, I appreciate that we had the turnout that we did. Like, a decent amount of players signed up today and played today. So yeah, not as I guess afraid to show things off, or, you know, maybe a little bit more confident even.
Yeah. They're not worried about revealing any secrets because, you know, they're just confident enough to be able to beat their opponents in straight up games.
Yeah, and we'll see if that's the case here. As so far, Demi, he's opened this up pretty standard. Again, every single game we've seen him go hatch gas pool. We do see him go for overlord speed, which is quite nice, looking to make sure he's able to scout everything that Azure has to offer. And meanwhile, Azure going for, I love this, a hidden 2-1-1.
You are asking for it, like you were waiting for it all night tonight. And here it is. We're gonna actually see it.
Yeah, I feel like we usually see this like once, maybe twice a tournament. You know, it is rare, but not rare enough that we don't see it for weeks. So yeah, Azure is going to whip this out. And I mean, on a game like this, like, the thing is, Demi, he got overlord speed, and he's going to be able to see it.
There we go. He sees it. He sees us researching. Demi is just going to hold down his Z key.
Yeah. So now Demi is aware that it's a 2-on-1, so now he can prepare for it. It does mean that you have to cut drones at a certain time. You need to have the sufficient amount of army required to hold against the drop, and make sure you have enough creep spread and vision to make sure you know that if it goes like a drop into the main base, or if he applies pressure at your third. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, and it's so important that Demi was able to scout it.
100%. This is like the reverse Bane bust in a way. You don't scout it, you're dead. DED dead.
This is accurate. I feel like a Bane Bust is a little bit more all in. But yeah, Azure, he is pushing out here with his drop, and even though it was scouted, like, it still can deal damage. Maybe not drone damage, but at least clear creep. There is still potential for it.
And honestly, if Azure can kite these Lings, you know, just shave off the Ling count and keep enough of his bio life, he will be going into the mid game. He's gonna have that push set up, and it's gonna work out a lot better for him.
Yeah, definitely, as we do see him stimming up this ramp. No banelings ready, just queens and lings, but just enough here to push the army away.
No! The camera goes down.
Brutal. Azure just completely ruthless, taking out some of the neutral creeps.
Yeah, he does not want to be bothered by it later on in this game. He's just taking it out right now while he has a chance.
F's in the chat. But as we were saying, like, so far, Azure, he hasn't really dealt too much damage, but he is keeping the creep of Demi in check.
I think more importantly is he hasn't lost much of anything. He hasn't lost a single Marine yet. He's sending out these Hellions now that Armory is going to be finishing up. This is an interesting take on the 2-on-1, I gotta tell you, like.
Yeah, and I love this position here, especially with the Liberator. He's going to be able to kite back and get as much value as he can. Even the Hellions back here to support as well.
Yeah, this is such a delicate dance right now for Demi. He knows that his queens can take a decent amount of damage, but he does not want to overextend them too much. He wants to keep it alive, as he wants to keep his alive. It's starting to go down, but Demi already remaking that. Very nicely done. Azure now moving deep into creep, but stims right on back once he saw movement from Demi.
Yeah, this is a really nice position here for Azure, able to snipe that Bane Nest, killing a couple of queens as well, and yeah, just getting nothing but value.
These transfuses have been insane.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised that Demi didn't opt to transfuse the Baneling Nest. I think he realized that because of the position, he wouldn't be able to save it. So yeah, just opts to remake it instead, and it's just about to finish up as well. But ooh, some Hellbats get morphed in. Yeah,
and that's definitely going to be helping prevent surrounds from the Lings. He does have to be careful though. Hellbats actually can't take too many Baneling shots. That's why they're always second fiddle Marauders. So Hellbats is starting to go down. This entire push is starting to get deflected. Azure has dealt some pretty decent damage, though.
Yeah, definitely. He did trade quite well, but behind this Demi, he is expanding, taking a fourth base. He's teching up, working on his lair, and yeah, I do like this. So Azure, he's rotating around. He spots the fourth at least.
Yeah, spots the fourth is going to be looking to reinforce that as he is ahead in army now, and I was starting to get a little bit worried. I wasn't certain how Azure was planning to transition out of this, but he is getting his third orbital command, starting to put that into position, and yeah, he's just transitioning to a more standard bio game.
Yeah, and at the same time, he's applying pressure to this fourth base. Oh, forces a cancel as well.
Nicely done. And Azure, he has the tempo right now. He has the momentum. If Demi isn't careful, he's gonna crack under Azure's pressure.
Yeah, again, like pressure, pressure. So Azure, he has so much available to him here because he's denying so much creep spread and bending speed hasn't finished yet. So yeah, Demi, it's so difficult for him to try and engage this army off of creep.
Energy Queen goes right on down, and I think, can we start calling Azure that? The Azure, the man who pressures? Or Azure, the man who's the pressure? Something like that?
I don't know if we can, we're probably gonna have to speak to Pressure about that if we can use his name.
And speaking of Azure, he is rotating back and forth. Demi, he just cannot get a fourth base up. But Azure is on a little bit of a timer right now. That Baneling speed is about to be finishing up, or centrifugal hooks, I should say.
Yeah, it does have to be.
Right at the last second.
Yeah, he was attempting to snipe some of those Banelings, but in the end, he was able to keep everything alive. As that was happening, I don't know if you noticed, but Demi tried to go for a massive Ling runby, but there were Widow Mines at the third base, so the Lings got completely thwarted, so that nothing went down there. So Azure, he was able to hold quite well, and now he does have two forces out on the map.
Absolutely, and honestly, I think Demi has a pretty healthy army, but just looking at the army supply count, it's looking like Azure is going to be able to get something done here, especially considering he split up his army like this.
Well,
if he went for a straight up push, I think he would have been at a bit of a disadvantage.
Yeah, I would say the big thing is at the moment that Baneling speed has finished up, and Demi looks like he's engaging with the army on the right-hand side. Meanwhile, ooh, nice snipe here on the Evo chamber. Azure goes in.
Yeah, if it can prevent +2 Carapace, that would absolutely be huge. But the RB actually manages to avoid that. A couple of these Realists still alive and can start chasing down these medevacs.
Oh, no.
It's such a good position. Azure may have just lost his lead here.
Oh god, the medevac with all the Marines in it was taken out. It gets shut down, and on this side of the map, sure, there's an army here applying pressure to the fourth base, but there's nowhere near enough supply here to stop Demi.
Absolutely. If this army was here while the underdrop is dealing damage, this would have been fine, but not quite enough. Demi has just been so patient this game. He's been waiting. He knew it was a 2-on-1 coming out for him. He did not give Azure an inch. He did not even flinch.
He did not, and now things are starting to snowball a little bit. Like Demi, he completely shut down all the aggression. His fourth is up. He's getting a fifth base behind this, but Azure, he does have quite a number of Widow Mines behind his army. Oh god!
Oh, the Widow Mines! Not allowed him. Oh, manual detonation.
Yeah, he manually detonated, and two Widow Mines were already taken out, cutting the count in half. And now Demi, he's looking to try and surround the army, looking to try and flank, with the Mutalisks. Yeah,
he's waiting for that perfect moment. Another Widow Mine shoots its load, and that is Azure out of AoE. Now these Marines, they're not doing terribly, but yeah, it looks like we've snowballed. The Mutalisks are starting to bunch up quite a bit. Demi, for the first time in a while in this game, is going to be taking that army supply lead.
Yeah, definitely, and I feel like this is an issue with the style that Azure is playing, is that once you have momentum, you can keep it going, but now it's kind of swung in the favor of Demi, and it's going to be so difficult for Azure to come back into this, and there's no missile turrets! Oh, but there are Marines there.
And, what are Marines if not walking missile turrets that can attack ground?
Oh, the Widow Mines! Oh!
Even with the Overseers, it's not going to be enough. Demi does rush to avoid them. I kind of wanted to see the Mutalisks fight that, but, he got to play sensibly, I guess.
You want to see the Mutalisks fight the Widow Mines? I wanted Demi to lose his mind for a moment there.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah. I mean, he thankfully he didn't, but oh my God, the Marines, they get surrounded!
Immediately get surrounded. These mines do not even get to burrow. One mine gets to burrow, but already taken out thanks to the Overseer detecting it. And, you know, Debbie, he's still got to be careful. He can't move into Azure quite yet, but it's safe to say that Azure is not ahead by any means.
Yeah. Interesting, Azure, he's opting to expand aggressively here, taking the base right outside the creep of Demi. And I mean, this will make it easier to defend since his army is already here on this side of the map, but it also means that if Azure loses a fight, then he will be pushed all the way back to his 4th base and it will be exposed.
And indeed, it's a little bit of a tricky balance to really get. Good use of the Widow Mine there. I think there was a little bit of friendly fire, but not too big of a deal. There is one missile turret and it's already on fire, and these mineral lines are looking so vulnerable.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, a Thor pops out just in time.
Thor will be able to chase away the Mutalisks with these, with the Marine backup. I got worried there. I thought Thor was going to go down to Mutalisks.
Yeah, Samuel was on move command for a moment there. I wasn't shooting, so that would have been disastrous. But he is here for the defense, so the Mutalisks do get pushed away. And Azure, yeah, he's just trying to hold on to all his bases, just macro up, try and get back into this. But Demi, he's going for this massive counterattack. Oh, God.
And it is massive. A lot of Banelings now getting produced. Demi now maxed out, which is a little bit unfortunate, to be honest, as he's still a little bit behind in the army count of Azure. But on the plus side, he's got the bank.
He does have the bank. He can afford to lose these Banelings, lose these Marines, but oh, God!
To lose the Banelings like that, though. Maybe
it's
enough left over. They are chasing these SCVs, and do manage to take out a couple of them. Not too much, though. Marines will be able to deal with them in the end. These Mutalisks will be able to take out this orbital command.
Wow.
And meanwhile, a drop going down to the south, but it's already being cleared. Demi is everywhere all at once.
Exactly. As you said, he was maxed out. He had the supply to spare to attack and defend at multiple locations all at the same time. Was able to somehow snipe that 3rd base as well. So Azure down to 3 base economy. And Azure, he's looking to try and push into this, but there's just so much Ling Bane.
There's a heck of a lot of Ling Bane. I mean, not quite enough for Demi to just YOLO across the map, but pretty close. Pretty close. It's, I think, on Demi to throw away his lead here.
Oh.
Like that. That is...
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. That was a fantastic mine shot.
That was the best Azure could have hoped for, but despite that, like, he does, you know, have enough in this engagement, but the Mutalisks, they were harassing across the map. Demi had the bank to rebuild an army, and it looks like Azure may be able to take a hatchery, as there aren't any more Banelings.
Yeah, honestly, I was going to say, sure, you know, he's going to be able to establish a foothold here, but where does he go from there? He's now down to not even 2 base economy, as that natural base is pretty close to mining out.
Yeah, and he kills the base, but at what cost? He has lost so much in the process. He's rotating around to kill the other 4th base of Demi, which could definitely work. And as we see, Azure, he also lost his main CC as well. So he's hurting so much right now.
He very much is. And I don't know, this is going to be his last stand. Or it really looks that way, Light.
Yeah,
the
it definitely is.
The Mutalisks are pretty much uncontested at this point.
And Azure, he's fought long and hard, and again, in the beginning of this game, he was looking so good. It was just, you know, once things swung in Demi's favor, he just kept that momentum going. He just kept that lead, and Azure, he's really hurting right now. I mean, potentially he can go for a couple of drops and keep Demi busy. Like, Demi, he isn't maxed out or anything like that, but he's, yeah, it's a tough ask.
Yeah, he can't go for these drops to keep Demi busy, right? But that's step 1 to a 20-step plan of how Azure could potentially come back in this game.
It also doesn't help that Azure has 1 medevac and it's at half health.
I mean, you know, you'll find a way.
Health.
You'll find a way. These Marines, they could use a little bit of exercise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know.
Cardio.
Leg day, right? They're just gonna get out there and do what they can.
Wait, do Marines have legs?
What?
Because there are some Marines, right, where... I could be wrong on this. Aren't some Marines missing limbs and they just, the suit is hooked up into their brain? I think I might be thinking of something else.
Submarine?
Submarine?
And we do We do see Azure floating his natural, trying to take another aggressive base here. Again, right outside the creep. He does have a couple of Widow Mines here with his army and a decent amount of bio, but again, oh god.
Yeah, and Demi does not have too much supply here.
Oh.
If Azure is able to get some efficient trades, he could start to snowball things out, but now that the rest of the army is meeting the rest of Azure's army, it is not looking likely whatsoever. I think he's doing it very impressive, and I do agree with you.
Yep.
And GG, well played, Demi. And I agree with Azure, unironically, in such an impressive showing, probably the best we've seen him in quite some time. Demi is now tied up with Seether and with Probe as a 4-time ESL Open Cup Fueled by Dare championship. Can one of them break that tie, or is Hut gonna ruin everything? My money's on the latter.
It's also important to note that that Seether has won 6. I think I mentioned this last week as well. Yeah, and you're like 6? I'm like, yeah, 6.
When did he win 6?
You said the same thing last week.
When did he win 6?
He's won 6. Probe has won 5. And Demi...
Probe's on 5?
Probe is on 5. And Demi, with this win, now has 4.
Well, I appreciate that you didn't interrupt me halfway late. And it's better to point it out at the end. Well, not point it out at the end, but rather
Yeah.
You don't want to interrupt people. I appreciate it. Very courteous.
GG.
GG.
Well played. Demi takes Varun, even takes another win here, and what that means is there's only one more week, one last chance for Azure to take a win before the end of this tournament series.
Yeah, and it's the last one. This is the penultimate.
Mm-hmm.
Next week is going to be the final ESL Open Cup Fueled by Dare, at least in a while. And
yeah.
As we were mentioning, there are a couple of these players who haven't won an ESL Open Cup. There are a couple of players who are, looking to try to cement their legacy in a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could see Seether come out and, just cement his dominance here. Or we could see Probe, tie himself up with Seether. We could see Demi tie himself up with Probe. Or we could see a new champion as well. It's kind of interesting to see. Again, I do hope that that players like Azure and Pez, these top-tier players in the region, are able to finally take a win here next week. But that's kind of what my hope is. Regardless, it's going to be amazing. It's been great. It's been a great night. And it's all going to be coming to an end shortly.
It's an end of an era, the finishing up a chapter. It's
at least a season. I want to put it that way. Maybe this is the first season, and maybe eventually, even if it isn't right away, Dare could reinvest. We may get another round of ESL Open Cups. Maybe not even necessarily Dare, but another sponsor. I don't know. But
I'm looking at you, Australian Uber Eats /Food Panda /Grab Food.
Menulog
/Menulog. No, I think it is actually called Menulog. Never mind.
It is. But yeah. Again, congratulations to Demi for taking the entire tournament. Really well played there, and to everyone else as well. Azure, he did really well making it to a finals again. We keep talking about this. Azure, he's looking really impressive in these recent months, and we'll see how that unfolds this weekend.
Can't wait.
As again, a reminder, this weekend is the DreamHack ANZ qualifiers, both Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. AEST, and it will be live here on this channel. We'll be casting it, we'll be covering it, and we will be finding out who will join Probe, Seether, and Risky in ANZ Champs.
Yeah. That's not going to be offline, is it? We still, because even if Australia is starting to ease up the rest of the Wait,
Oh,
is Australia starting to ease up?
no, no. It's not.
Yeah, it's not gonna be live.
It's not gonna be offline. No.
Oh
Everything's
no,
going to
it is
be.
gonna be live. It's not gonna be offline.
Yeah. There won't be any offline events here, at least probably for the rest of the year. To be honest,
Yeah.
we'll see, right? But yeah, regardless, DreamHack, it's coming back with fall this weekend. I hope to see everyone who competed today over the weekend as well, and then some. Shout out to Pez who's in the chat. I'm wishing him the best of luck here for that. We have yet to decide whether or not we're still going to be running GPO. I don't know if it's going to be the best idea.
Yeah, probably not, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, okay, if any of the players are listening in right now, do kind of let us know. I can't imagine you'd want to play in a tournament after a qualifier, so...
Yeah, I mean, we did it last time, and like the players who competed, yeah, props to them. Yeah, props to them for doing so. But there was like Mio Micah who he signed up, he checked in, but like an hour in, he's like, an hour in, he was like, yeah, I need a rest. Like, it was a long day of qualifiers, and I believe he had to wake up the next day as well.
He did, because he didn't manage to make it the first qualifier.
Exactly. So yeah, because of that, we probably shouldn't. We should postpone it.
Yeah.
But regardless, there will be ANZ StarCraft over the weekend, and I hope to see everyone there.
I won't be there, though.
I mean, you won't be playing, but you'll be playing in Steel, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not nervous.
Yeah, but with that, I believe we are coming to an end here for this broadcast. Yaku.
Yep.
Sup.
What's up, my brothers?
Where can people find more of you?
Twitch.tv/YakuZaku1, although I don't think I'm going to be streaming this week, because, again, Seal. Find myself,
Hey, you gotta do something about it.
I gotta do something about that. But yeah, I don't think I'll be streaming this week, as I find myself, practice is a bit more effective if I'm not streaming. Turn.com at @Emporia Yakuzaku! !Discord will bring you to the Cranky Ducklings Discord server, where you can find myself as well as the other members of Cranky. Other than that, buy my shirts. Where can we find you, Light?
Light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. You can find me live on stream throughout the week, as I typically stream in the mornings. Ladder sessions, as well as some behind the scenes streams. Working on VOD editing or working on thumbnails, scheduling, things of that nature for the Cranky Ducklings. So if that interests you, then do tune into that. Also, we have some new overlays.
Yeah, I can confirm that watching Light in GIMP is a good power boost for ladder. I can confirm that.
This is accurate. This has happened. I had my best ladder session after like 2 hours of GIMP.
Yeah, I watched you GIMP for 2 hours, and then I think I went on like an 8-game win streak on ladder or something like that.
Something about it, man.
It just dang.
Oh god. But yeah, do tune into that. And also, of course, we cannot forget our lovely observer here today, handling the production, Kuro, aka 16th Squad Sanseki. She does observe for us. She handles all the production, all the overlays, all the assets, all the stream assets. And recently she made us new overlays for our streams.
Oh yeah, I still have to figure that one out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But thank you so much for observing. You can also catch her at 16th Squad S on Twitter. As we don't just work on Cranky Ducklings, but we also work on StarCraft Esports, SE2 Birthdays on Twitter. We have so many projects that we work on, and more in the pipeline.
Yeah, the unofficial SE2 Esports. By the way, we want to make that distinction.
Yeah, StarCraft Esports on Twitter. The official one is Esports StarCraft. Yeah. Our one was first, by the way.
Fun fact.
Just a fun fact. But yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Stay tuned, as we will be rating Vivid, as he did begin streaming. Yeah, the other Australian ANZ Zerg player. So do give him some support. Redeem some points. Make him wear a duck hat. And we will see you on Friday for Sea Duckling Open.
Yeah. See you guys then.
Ciao.
Bella.